Hello everyone, welcome to the WBC Muay Thai headquarters in Bangkok, Thailand. Myself, Matt Lucas, and the always handsome
Patrick Rivera.
So Patrick, of course, the WBC Muay Thai chairman in the United States. We're going to go over a couple of important things today. Ranking processes, upcoming events, tournament in Italy coming up, and a lot more concerning both America and the world. So let's get started with our first agenda item of the day. We'll go over the ranking process. So this is specifically for America. We've done the ranking process 2-3 years now.
Yes.
And so it's still a work in progress, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because the American system is unlike the WBC Muay Thai world system where everyone is professional. And because it's a world from all over the world are being ranked, whereas we're looking at America, it's a little harder because some Americans are based in America. Some of our athletes ranked there, whereas some are over here in Thailand fighting actively. So we just released the updated women's rankings for 2025. What are some of your thoughts about that? What is your thoughts?
Thank you for that introduction. It's been challenging with the rankings for the pros, especially for the amateurs, which we'll get into. But with the pros, we're a lot of it times reliant on feedback of our state and regional representatives on who's fighting and who's fighting actively. For fighters or fighters that live abroad, at one point, we're trying to decide if we rank them if they haven't fought in the United States within a 2-year time frame. However, when you got someone like Jaleel Barnes, who's been living here for about 5 or 6 years now, WBC Muay Thai international professional champion, and I think he's fighting for a WBC Muay Thai world title soon. He hasn't fought in the United States in 5-6 years, right? But it would not be right to not rank him.
Yeah.
Right? So we absolutely have to rank fighters that are fighting abroad on a regular basis as well, because we want to see activity. We want people to go, wherever. Sometimes it's hard for us, and I know that there's been a couple of women that are not on that current list that should be on there, just because we weren't aware of them. And that's the hard part. If you're fighting in, Chiang Mai all the time, or certain stadiums that we're going to consider that, take a bit more serious than other stadiums, obviously. But again, activity is very, very important to us. And so if we missed you, our apologies. We're going to definitely get you on the next ranking system.
I think it's hard because one of the good things is there's so much activity.
Right.
Like Noah Moniz from Hawaii is fighting on RWS this weekend. Jaleel is very active on the Palang Mai shows. Danielle Marie, who is originally from Seattle, long-term resident out here, active upcountry and then on RWS. Then you have Ariel McGuire in the north of Thailand and Chiang Mai, relatively active on some of the stadium shows down here. So it can be a lot. And then also, we're relying on self-reporting and then some of our regional ambassadors. So I think it's pretty complicated.
Right.
And it's definitely a work in progress. What do you see as some of the next steps that we'll take?
So what we're trying to do is create a more stringent system. And the more we grow in scale, the more directors we're bringing on board. And so that has helped tremendously. Having, Vivek Nakarmi in Washington, D.C., having Matthew Van Valkenburg in, the Maryland, East Coast area, the Mid-Atlantic states, having Brett Hlavacek in New York, familiar with that whole scene in the Northeast, Bobby Peak down in the South. He knows many of the fighters and what their activity is, especially places like Florida, Texas, Arizona, and places didn't have much knowledge about with a lot of the fighters in that talent pool that they have in those particular areas. Now Belton Lubis in Seattle. We are looking to develop the upper Midwest, and we are to start developing Rule Taylor for Michigan and someone else I haven't mentioned yet, but for Indiana, Chicago area. And as we grow, having those people in those positions will give us regular updates. And so it will improve. It is a work in process. We're trying to be the most ethical, and we're trying to be the most credible. And at this point, we really are. And it is a lot of work. And again, this is all volunteer work. So it is painstaking to try to keep up with everyone.
Yeah, especially with a lot of development in America itself.
Yeah.
Like someone we talked about recently, Matthew Van Valkenburg, he's doing the MDLs regularly. He's a pioneer for the MTAC Muay Thai athletic circuit, which is a stepping stone in the WBC Muay Thai USA ecosystem. And he actually has a fighter that recently appeared on the Raja TKO show last Friday. And that's like, the TKO show is here at Raja Demnern. Sometimes it's televised, sometimes it's not. It's technically considered pro out here, but it's like, oh, where should we rank him?
Right.
And then has the athlete, I believe his name is Chainsaw, or his nickname, fought in the US recently. You know, it's a lot of moving parts. But moving on, I think maybe even a bigger moving part is ranking the amateurs in the US. Because for those of you out there in TV land or internet land that don't know, the American circuit is mainly based on amateur. But now I would say it's slowly shifting more professionally, but there's still a very, very large amateur base.
Correct. One of the challenges of the amateur base is that the fighters don't register necessarily with the state, right? They could register with a promoter or the sanctioning body that oversees them, but they're not registered or not vetted through the state, like say in California. And so if there's all these shows all across the country, it's impossible, nearly impossible. So what we've decided to do is we created a regional title. So a WBC Muay Thai regional amateur title. It's a medal, it's not a belt, but it's exactly the same quality. And it's about this size, but instead of having a strap, it comes with a ribbon. But they're gorgeous, they're beautiful. But what this does is it allows us to recognize who these champions are from that local geography, and they have to defend it. And once they defend it and win, then they're entitled to fight for a national title. So just in case we miss someone, and we actually did miss someone, so we'll talk about that a little bit here. But if we did miss someone, somebody could simply say, hey, listen, I'm better than that guy, I have a better record, and that's going to help bring out more and more and get awareness of who all these fighters are and where they're coming from. So by having that type of system, you have a much more credible system, as opposed to just saying, hey, this guy is from San Francisco, this guy is from Oakland, and they're going to fight for a national title, right? Just because they know that they're going to sell tickets. What we want to be able to do is recognize, okay, here's a regional champion in 8 different regions, here's another regional champion. These 2 people, based on their geography, a promoter now can then promote those 2 if they know that they're going to be able to not lose money, hopefully make some money on their show. And that's very, very important in the business and economics of Muay Thai.
And speaking of bringing people out, the upcoming Songkran Festival in LA is rapidly approaching. We have Major League Muay Thai this year. Songkran, of course, the Thai New Year, held every year. Out here in Thailand, it just passed. But in LA, it's on the 26th, correct?
Yeah, 26th and 27th in Los Angeles is really cool. It's in Thai Town on Hollywood Boulevard. And what they do is they block off about maybe 4 or 5 blocks of Thai Town. And they haven't done it. The last Songkran was about maybe 4 years ago. And there's a new committee, there's a new organizing committee. The Royal Thai Consulate Kuntur Saralamba is behind it. The Sports Authority of Thailand is behind it. And of course, the WBC Muay Thai in conjunction with Major League Muay Thai is behind it. And so we've got 2 national titles. We've got Keelan Weeks from the San Francisco Bay Area under Stephen Chow and Omni Movement versus Kaiser Espinoza from King's Muay Thai under Skylar Gano from Florida. They're going to be fighting for a national title, and I'm very, very excited to see that. Now, we did miss Zach Ignacio. We made a mistake, and we thought that Zach Ignacio had won the regional title in Florida, the Southeast Regional title in Florida at welterweight. Well, in fact, it was super lightweight, which this title will be fought at. So the winner of this particular matchup will fight Zach Ignacio, as that winner tries to defend his belt against that fighter. So very, very exciting matchup. Both fighters, they fought each other actually at the Pan Ams.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and Kaiser beat Keelan, who was on a tear at the finals. And it would be great to see this as a 5-rounder with no shin guards as well. So it's going to be a very, very exciting fight. So definitely looking forward to this one on April 27th. It's, I believe, a week from today if you're in the U.S. and yeah, less than 6 days away now if you're here in Bangkok. Exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, I think Keelan is definitely a testament to the WBC Muay Thai system right now. He's fought WBC Pan Ams, the last major league. He's just growing within the system pretty rapidly because the ecosystem in the US is growing. So for athletes that are invested like Selina Flores, Keelan Weeks and others, they're getting a lot of opportunity. Speaking of opportunity, we have LG Parnell taking on Mika Riello, who's from Mark Sigwid's gym. Parnell over at Church History Boxing with the Polish Punisher Chris. This is going to be a great matchup because we saw LG here in Thailand at the Amazing Muay Thai Festival at Lumpini. She took home gold, real firecracker.
Yes.
You know Riello a little bit better. What do you think of this matchup?
I love this matchup. I love both those fighters. Lauren Pinnell, you know, her nickname Little Gangsta. She has so much fire and bravado. You know, I think I first saw her fight in New York City at Warriors Cup, and I was just really impressed. I mean, she's tiny. She fights at I think 105, 108, but she is just a fireball. And you know, every fight at Lumpini Stadium here last year at the Amazing Muay Thai Festival was just impressive. I mean, just her ring presence, and that's, you know, there's a lot of good fighters out there, but to find somebody that has that much class and personality is rare, and she's got it. She's got that bravado, you know, that fighters should have, or exciting fighters do have. Mika, and she is fantastic as well. She's been with us. She's part of the WBC ecosystem. She's fought at not only Lumpini, she fought in Venice, Italy with us, and I think she came down to Mexico, I think once with us for the Pan Ams. She's been fighting a lot locally in the Bay Area as well, and again, she is fire. Both of these girls are going to be moving fast, they're going to be kicking hard, they're going to be punching hard. Both of them have great technique and skill. Excellent matchup. Very excited. WBC Women's Amateur National title at Los Angeles Songkran Festival, April 27th. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a sellout event, and for those of you that aren't able to attend, it should be live streaming. Make sure to stay tuned for information on that.
You know, I do want to add the importance. A lot of these fighters, like Matt said, are part of the WBC ecosystem, WBC Muay Thai USA ecosystem. If we don't know who you are, then it's going to be very difficult to get you opportunities, right? And having exposure through these tournaments, you know, just seeing, you know, who you are, where you're from, meeting your coaches, developing these relationships, seeing you perform on stage in the ring, you know, and even if it's an amateur tournament, allows us now to really create this very deep and vast network that we can pull from. And then, you know, if a promoter asks, hey, who can I promote in my region, we can quickly tell them, you know, who is in contention for a regional or a national title. So definitely get involved with these tournaments if you can, because again, it's exposure and networking.
Yeah, I think just going off of that a little bit, if we look at it in terms of layers, for WBC Muay Thai, it's a lot easier if someone has a social media presence. You know, someone like Selina Flores is a very, very good example. You know, she puts herself out there so constantly that she's top of mind. Then on top of that, she's participating in the WBC Muay Thai ecosystem. So, okay, we see her every day online, then we see her in person quarterly, every other month. You know, so that is going to give her even more opportunities. And I think it's a very, very good lesson for other athletes that want these opportunities to start marketing themselves, put yourself online, talk about upcoming events like the Songkran Festival. Okay, maybe you aren't fighting in it, maybe you're going to help corner LG or Mika, or you're coming as a spectator. Advertising or just talking about the experience is going to make you show up on the radar, especially now when the exposure is relatively low. But in, I think, 3 years, it's it's can be way more competitive.
100%. I mean, you look at how Selina's grown within our WBC ecosystem. She started off doing MDLs, or started helping out at MDLs, coaching at MDLs, having some guest experiences and presentations as we did our WBC Muay Thai youth summer camps. Then we got her opportunity. She fought for a world title as she grew up through the ranks, got ranked, fought in Perth, Australia, and only 4 or 5 months later fought in Mexico to defend that world title against a Brazilian, and successfully won that. Now it's an exciting fight, very, very exciting. She's really, really stepped up and grown. She is very, very active. She is one of our superstars. We're very proud of her. We're very proud that she's on the WBC team. And there's a lot of these fighters, and we've got now Angela Whitley that's going to be fighting on Major League Muay Thai in Puerto Rico on May 24th against Rose Amarin from Brazil. Now both of them, Angela right now is ranked #1 with the WBC Muay Thai welterweight, women's welterweight pro divisions, and Rose is #2 coming out of Brazil. So this is going to be fireworks. We're really, really excited to watch this fight as well. So again, just being exposed will now have that, having that exposure will allow us to now understand who you are and create, again, many, many opportunities for you.
And speaking of opportunities, along with the upcoming Songkran Festival, we also have the massive Verona tournament, the Amazing Muay Thai Festival in Verona, Italy. It's late June 25th to the 29th. In the center of Italy, in the center of Verona. It's going to be amazing. We've lined up the athletes already. The first payment for registration was due like a week ago. What is it, 80 to 100 athletes coming over from the US?
So from the US we have, now I believe there were 85 applicants. I think 60 are confirmed. I got to get the exact number. So we're sifting through all that. We're going to have our first Zoom meeting with the athletes that did get accepted and are coming on board. But yeah, about 60 athletes. It's going to be incredible. It's one of the biggest, largest international contingents we've taken over overseas. So it's going to be exciting. This particular tournament is going to have almost 800 fighters, international fighters, and it's going to be extremely competitive. Extremely competitive. Last year in Venice, or 2 years ago in Venice, there was about 450, and the level of competition was some of the highest I've seen. So very excited for this one.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been to all of the tournaments now, and they keep moving up in terms of organizational logistics and then competition as well. The last event here in Thailand at Lumpini was one of the best tournaments I've ever been to. And 800 athletes is definitely world scale in terms of number of participants. You know, we're hitting the hot, you know, top 3, top 5 in terms of numbers. So very, very excited about that. What are some other things going on? What are some of your other thoughts about WBC Muay Thai USA right now?
You know, right now, again, we're growing and scaling massively. I'm just looking back, and I was talking to General Tanapon. He is the president of WBC Muay Thai, and I had lunch with him today. We were just amazed at how much has happened in just 3.5 years. Things are growing really fast. You know, right now it's not perfect, you know, but we are working on it. Again, we want to make Muay Thai great, and it's very, very important because we're looking to make Muay Thai really great in the United States. We are going to be a powerhouse, and our whole thought on this is you know, we want to grow our pro ranks from maybe 100. I think in our ranking, we only ranked about maybe 80 people, right? Not that many pros in the United States right now.
Yeah.
Amateurs, we might have 10 to 15,000. So our thought is what we need to do in order to grow to pros, we need to 10x everything. If we want 1,000 pros, right, which will make us extremely competitive, we need to now grow our amateur base from 10,000 to 100,000. We need to now grow our developmental phase from it's been probably about 15,000 people have participated in the MDL so far in the last couple of years. We need to 10x that. We need that 150, maybe 200, 300 ascension that goes through that. So we are looking at another development series. It's called the WBC Muay Thai DCD, Development or Decision Class Development Series, where it's still semi-contact, but it'll be not based on power, it'll be based on scoring, certain scoring techniques, and we'll go more in detail. We're doing the first one in Stockton, California, May 10th, and that's going to allow people to now safely segue from, you know, a non-decision MDL into a decision class, and to further help them understand what scores, what doesn't score, what scores better, as opposed to just, you know, haymakers and you know, climbing the coconut tree, so to speak, right? So very, very excited about that. And the first tournament, the first regional tournament, the first WBC Muay Thai amateur regional tournament will be held in Maryland with Matthew Van Valkenburg. He's really doing a fantastic job of developing that particular area. We expect, I'm very conservative. I always hope that that to try to keep it small, like 200, but I do think we're going to have probably about 400 or 500 fighters on that very first one. So that is in October of 2025, October this year.
So very, very soon.
Yeah. And once we get that launched, that's what we're going to be doing all around the country. We're going to have about 8 different regional tournaments a year. So it's going to be very, very busy. You know, right now we have MDLs in about 15 cities. Yeah, so it is exploding. It's exploding. So we'll be in a city near you. Definitely get involved. Definitely get involved with the WBC. Get exposed. Get the experience. Get the development. And let's work to getting our pro ranking very, very high. Let's get 1,000 fighters, 1,000 pro fighters, and let's dominate the world.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very clear path now. For those of you that may need it broken down, it starts with the MDLs, no decision. Then we go into this new MDL decision class. Then we have the MTAC, the Muay Thai Amateur Athletic Circuit. Then we have Major League. Between these two, we have the tournaments, the national tournaments like Pan Am's, the international games, and now we have the regional ones. And then moving on top of that, we have the professional worlds, and we have clear athletes at each stage at this point for you to model. So Selina, Flores, Keelan Weeks, you know, guys like Zach Ignacio and others. So I think it's starting to look like a clear path to success for WBC Muay Thai USA and for any athlete that wants to be involved in this sport. Wrapping things up, is there anything you wanted to talk about we didn't get to touch on?
You know, there's going to be a lot more. I'm going to probably be back in 2 weeks, and I'm sure we can catch up. There's a lot we can catch up on, but I think we're good for now.
All right, well, we are good on the future of Muay Thai here in Thailand and around the world. Stay tuned. We have more coming up, and in the meantime, you can look at other videos like this one right up here.